This episode of the Bottle Rocket podcast is brought to you by GamerClips.tv. Play, share and watch video game frags and clips with hundreds more added every day. Hit the link in the comments section to check them out. Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Bottle Rocket podcast with me, Chris.
And me, Jake.
Ben?
That was quick.
That was
Quick fire.
quick fire. So welcome. First bit of news. We've finally got a website.
Yay!
It's
Finally on the internet.
We're on the internet.
It makes recording this podcast seem so much more valuable.
Yeah.
It's on the internet.
It's in the most basic of forms possible at the moment, but it's there at www.bottlerocket.com. And on there we've got the first issue of the comic book that I started making.
Sweet bro.
Sort of comic book. It's a fan-made, an unofficial fan-made World of Warcraft comic that sort of dramatises my play through the game over the last 7 years.
Estimated running time, 7 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's a long ass time. The story build up.
So it's a little idea that I've been bouncing around recently, and because I'm no good at art, I decided to use screenshots from the game as the comic art panels, and then just build a story around it. So feel free to drop on over and have a look.
Yeah, I've read for your first sort of issue, and it's cool, man. I mean, I personally don't know a great deal about World of Warcraft.
But you will after reading this comic.
But you will after you come on this adventure with me.
I will see one of the 9 million subscribers' point of views from the entire journey of 7 years.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't sound like, from what you were saying the other day, Chris, that one would get that experience if you just started World of Warcraft now.
It's a different beast now. It's a completely different beast. A lot of the social interaction has been sucked out of it. With the addition of things like the group finder tools and the matchmaking system, you don't make connections anymore. You basically just use groups that you find to complete an objective, and that's it. I remember
a means to an end rather than a group
yeah,
of
definitely.
friends.
I remember there was a dungeon that we wanted to do years ago, and we had to go around looking for players to join a party. We had to make a party of 5 out of meeting people and actually talking to people. Mm-hmm. Actually talking to people.
You were about to say physically talking.
I stopped myself. You heard me stop myself.
The digital realm of physicality.
Kinda, as in, like, you would have to have some form of social graces as opposed to just clicking a button and summoning 4 random.
Yeah. So we met, we formed a party, and then we went on this mad sort of like 3-hour long journey to get to this dungeon. That was really sort of difficult. It was more like an adventure. And then we did the dungeon.
Fellowship.
We formed a fellowship, yeah, and those people are still on my friends list today. God knows how many years later. Whereas today, you click the group finder button, and like you say, four random people with the same goal are summoned to your side. You're then taken to the instance that you want to do, the dungeon that you want to do. You complete it, and then you just return to wherever it was you clicked the button. It's just sapped of any social interaction. So there's a lot of that adventure part of the game that's been lost.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like it fits in with the more console-based matchmaking system where you just click a button and you're there with randoms. It's not, when you've got such a big, rich world that you've developed, it's almost discouraging people from exploring that, even if they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've put all this time and effort into making this massive, expansive world. Why not let people have adventures in it? So hopefully that's what my attempt at a comic's going to do. It's going to sort of reinvigorate, or remember some of the adventure that you could have.
Reminiscent.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
So yeah. Now this last week we've been inundated with trailers.
Inundated.
Inundated.
It is trailer season.
Um,
It seems.
Yeah.
All of 3 trailers.
Well, there's been quite a few around them as well. But I mean, let's have a chat about the Star Wars trailer first off.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I mean, is it actually the most viewed trailer ever? Already? I don't know if that's an actual fact or just somebody's speculation.
It's a made-up fact.
Geek tyrants of claiming that it's the most viewed trailer ever.
Yeah. Standing currently at 40,491,464 views.
40 million views, and when did it come out? Like a couple of days ago?
It came out on the 28th of November,
Hmm.
5 days ago.
Yeah. So
250,000 likes. Kind of crazy.
yeah, that's. So I mean, what do we think about the trailer?
I was really positive about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I am still.
I was, but now.
I was no. There was a lot about it that I liked. It was a proper teaser trailer. I think we've talked about this before, how trailers just kind of give away a bit too much.
Yeah.
In my opinion, these days, like, they tell too much of the plot before it actually has to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas this just whetted my appetite. Like, it showed the visual style of the movie, and that Abrams. It sounds like some of the hype that was going around about Abrams kind of having a more like 1970s feel to it.
Definitely,
To be true. Like, it looks similar to the original trilogy, but with a bit more polish.
Yeah, well, back at the beginning, he opted to use 35mm cameras rather than digital, the new fancy digital ones they use, and I think that, looking at the trailer, that's certainly given it that feel.
Definitely. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it, but I don't think I saw a single lens flare.
Oh my word!
So it was just nice desert scenes, sky scenes, forest scenes, no lens flare. Like, just the actual lighting of the places that he was filming.
Yeah, he's saving them for the actual theatrical release, and then it's just gonna be like Lens Flare City.
Yeah. Still lots of bizarre camera work, but there were X-wings in it. They sounded like X-wings. There was a Millennium Falcon in it. It sounded like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that was the bit that made me go sort of weak at the knees. The sort of when the Millennium Falcon just whips in and flies up. That was like, yeah, it's happening.
TIE fighters scream past. Like, it's early signs are good. Early signs are really good.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely liking the fact that they haven't brought the teaser trailer out and just immediately shown you characters appearing from the past and sort of thrown it in your face. They've left it really mysterious within the realm of Star Wars. I mean, you see stormtroopers, you see X-wings, you see the Millennium Falcon and whatnot. You see a fucking awesome lightsaber. But
yes, the lightsaber.
The
lightsaber.
The elephant in the room.
Yeah. That's become an instant meme, that has, hasn't it?
The Swiss Army lightsaber is my favourite. The ones are just like lots of things coming out of it. It's a broadsword. Like,
it's a broadsword,
but be a broadsword.
It wouldn't actually work like that. So I can't remember who it was, but somebody went into why it wouldn't work. All you'd need to do is slide the other lightsaber down the blade, and it'd just chop one of those two little bits off, because they're on those little sticky outy nubs.
Yeah. To be fair, that's been a problem with all lightsabers. Like, if you were actually in a fight with the lightsaber, you could just slide your lightsaber down to the person's blade and cut their hand off.
Yeah.
As demonstrated when Obi-Wan fought all the CGI that General Grievous fight, where he just sort of cut off 3 of his sabers, and he's like, "Oh, this is incredibly easy. Why have you not done this in every other lightsaber fight I've ever seen?"
I like that when Obi-Wan fought the CGI.
Yes, when all the CGI fought Obi-Wan, and he waggled his stick at the green screen, and it fell over.
To be fair though, that General Grievous fight had so much more promise. I mean, when he first shows up and he busts out 6 lightsabers and he's got 2 whirling around, I was like, what the fuck is going to go on now? Like, how do you defeat this thing? It's like a wall of death coming out there. Like,
Easily, it turns out.
yes, just go beep, 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 done.
Comparatively easily compared to one guy with one lightsaber.
But I like the look of the new lightsaber because it seemed a bit primal, like the way that the two jets of light are popping out at the side. It's almost as though it's a design fault. Like there's too much energy. It can't be handled.
Yeah, it seems like it's got a bit of a sort of crackling effect around it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
as well?
yeah. It looks
Exhaust
really bad.
ports, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I imagine when they designed it is what they were going for. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, so it's not quite as refined. It's like made from scraps sort of thing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, the title being The Force Awakens suggests that, there's not really been any Jedi or Sith wielding Force powers for a while, or at least nobody's known about them.
Mm.
So, and we know it's set roughly, 30 years after the Return of the Jedi finished. So,
Yeah, and it's spawned so many memes already, like just
Yeah.
meme central. I think one of my favourite ones is one that I saw today, which is the stormtrooper with his helmet off that kind of appears at the beginning, all sweating in the desert.
Yeah.
Just like a picture of him, and goes, "Those were the droids I was looking for." Like, it's 30 years down the line. Oh, dick.
Damn.
Like it's great. I think it's really done what a teaser should, which is inspire people's imaginations about what it could be, and I think early signs are really promising. Like even we only saw a few seconds of that evil Sith guy with the ridiculous lightsaber, but the fact that it was in a moody forest, sort of snow whipped and kind of with nice camera angles and things like that, and then he cracks out a lightsaber. It wasn't like Episode 1 where just everybody and their dog had a lightsaber and just popped them out at every opportunity. It looks like it seems like they're kind of placing things in settings where it's dramatic as opposed to just doing it for the sake of it.
Mm.
yeah,
in
yeah,
some
it's
ways.
not quite as in your face. But I
Yeah.
think the whole thing they were going for with Episode 1 was this is Star Wars with many lightsabers.
Yeah.
Rather than two
Yeah, it was-
people who
it-
have lightsabers
it was
in
supposed to be like the-
trilogy.
The sort of time when Force users were prominent and the Jedi's were sort of the peacekeepers and like the sort of FBI sort of busting around like the
only
agents.
The annoying thing about Episode 1 was I was too
Jar Jar
young to-
Binks.
Well, that. The trailer though. I was too
Uh-huh.
young to appreciate it at the time, but they completely ruined like Darth Maul's dual-bladed sort of light staff, if you will, in one of the early trailers. Like, imagine if you'd watched the film all the way to that point,
Without
and
knowing,
then he
yeah.
just fucking busts out two blades. You'd probably just jizz in your pants.
Jizz in my pants.
Yeah, that visual coupled with John Williams' score is probably the only saving grace from that movie.
Yeah, that whole fight scene at the end of that film. Well, none of the Anakin bits, just the lightsaber fight is just fucking epic.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
worth watching the film to get to that point. I feel.
It's a real shame that there's 3 other things going on at the same time as that fight that you don't want to watch.
Yeah.
So
So
I
quick,
really-
get out of the way! I want to see them.
I don't care about the child in the spaceship or the boring people fighting with lasers in the castle or the other thing that was happening at the same time that I forget. I just want to see the laser sword fight. Like
laser sword?
the YouTube supercuts of it are much better, where it just cuts the fight together.
Yeah.
Oh, this is much better. Why didn't they just put this? Like, I could really appreciate the choreography.
Right. Let's move on to the Jurassic Park trailer.
Okay, the Jurassic World.
Sorry, my bad. Jurassic
It's
World.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. We all know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why
So
Jurassic World? Why?
because
I mean,
it's a big theme park now.
it is. It wasn't
Like-
before.
Like Disney World, but more toothy.
A little bit more bitey.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So we were given a lot of plot in this trailer.
Mm.
Yeah, it did a good job of setting the scene.
I mean, in fairness, you've got to be pretty dumb to not work out what's going to happen.
Even Chris Pratt works out what's going on in this trailer.
And I tell you what, if there isn't a joke about a Tyrannosaurus Rex struggling to play the piano, then they've wasted Chris Pratt. They might as well have used anybody else, because if he doesn't get a gag like that in, they've wasted him.
Exactly. It looks fun. It really, it might be awful, but at early signs, it looks quite fun. It's a little bit tongue in cheek. They wouldn't have put that line in about, it's like, you made a new dinosaur. Probably not a good idea. If they weren't going to make a film that was slightly tongue in cheek, which is great, because the original was slightly tongue in cheek a little bit.
Yeah, the second one was crap.
Yes, because it took itself too seriously.
And the third one was a bit. I sort of enjoyed the third one up until they started talking to raptors.
Alan. No, it was bizarre, really odd. But this one, I'm optimistic. And there was, a shot of a gigantic sea dinosaur eating a shark.
Yeah.
You don't put that in your trailer if you're not going to have a good time. They'd have gone for something, grim and gritty and whatever. But it looks entertaining. I think I'm feeling quite happy about this one.
Yeah, I think that's the key with Jurassic Park. They're supposed to be entertaining films. Obviously, there's not a lot of scientific or historical accuracies with them.
No.
But that's the point. It's supposed to be a bit of a fantasy, a bit of a fun adventure ride.
Exactly, old school action adventure kind of film. It was kind of what the original one was. It's like the most indestructible screaming children will escape the T-Rex slash raptors slash Jeff Goldblum.
It'll be interesting to do the effects as well, because I remember Jurassic Park 1 was so far ahead of its time in terms of...
Jurassic Park was really groundbreaking in CGI terms. I mean, it's hard to believe it came out when it did.
It was 1994 it came out, I think, if I'm not
it
mistaken.
Looked so good. It was unreal.
It's a shame the technology in the film itself hasn't aged very well at all. As there's one bit that's like, oh my god, it's an interactive CD-ROM.
Yeah.
It's a Unix system.
Not the magic word.
Like this one's got shots of everybody using their smartphones to record the big dinosaur and things like that. I wonder how relevant that'll be in 15 years time. But yeah, it's like you say, Jurassic Park 1 was groundbreaking. This one looks like another blockbuster, but that's okay. It looks like a good one.
Yeah.
For my money, as long as it sort of recaptures what Jurassic Park did achieve when it first released. If they're trying to recapture that for a modern audience, then in my opinion, it can only be good. Because I love that film. I've watched it so many times to this day. Like, I think when I got it on VHS back in the day, I probably watched it about 5 times in a row. I don't know. I just love it so much.
I think I did that with The Empire Strikes Back when I first watched it as well. When I was a kid, we used to rent a movie every weekend, like me and my little brother, and we used to kind of watch it maybe once or twice. And I remember sitting down and basically just watching Empire Strikes Back when 5 times.
This video's got to go back on Monday. I need to watch it over and over again, so it's burnt into my mind.
This is the best thing I've ever seen.
I remember years ago now. It was when I think it was the first remaster of the original Star Wars trilogy, and they bought out the VHS box set in that sort of Darth Vader looking head with either the gold foil wrap packing or the silver foil packing if you got the widescreen version. Oh. And I think I had it for Christmas, and I opened it up and I was like, and then I tried to watch A New Hope, but the video was dud, and I was so devastated at that point.
No. That's the worst Christmas I've ever heard.
I wonder.
It was. I was like, oh god.
I wonder how much it cost to buy every single different box set of Star Wars has ever been.
Oh dear God! I mean, because a lot of them are like so rare that they probably would cost quite a lot of money.
But you've got like the VHS box set, you've got the VHS widescreen box set, you've got like the DVD, the HD, the Blu-ray, and I bet there's so many re-releases of that box set that it's.
I used to own 2 of the original VHS ones, and I think I had like one of the next special edition. I can't remember what it was, like the gold something edition, and yeah, like, and then they just kept on fucking changing it.
This one's got 7 extra minutes of footage.
I don't want 7 extra minutes. I want the original 7 extra minutes.
It's got a commentary from Mark Hamill.
Like,
This one has
was he doing drugs
Hayden
at the time or
Christensen.
not? Yes, Hayden Christensen. Why is he in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah. Poor old David Prowse.
Yeah, exactly. He had one job. Didn't get to do it. No.
Right, so the next trailer, and I'm going to try not to moan too much about this, but we saw the teaser trailer for the trailer of Terminator Genisys, and I'm angry even saying that sentence.
Yeah.
But
Can you spell Genesis for me, Chris?
not the way they did. Bloody idiots. They
start
so
with
now
genius and then change their mind halfway through.
yeah, so now what we're getting is trailers for trailers, and that's just not cool with me.
A trailer to prepare you for the trailer.
Yeah. What's that all about?
It's just a new way of extending the hype train.
Yeah.
By
It's
a
like-
couple of steps. They released the trailer for the trailer the day before the trailer comes out. What?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's like we haven't finished making the trailer yet, is I think what it is.
Well, by the looks of some of the CGI in it, I don't think they have finished making it yet.
We only
Because-
have 15 seconds of footage.
That's sort
Looks
of
like this.
that sort of liquid metal, man, akin to T1000.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought that was a shot from Terminator 2.
It did look like a shot dragged from the 80s. I don't know if that's the intended look or what, but
Still,
yeah,
nailed
so
it.
Arnie's back.
Oh well.
I think I like the premise of the story for Genesis, but it's just whether or not
What
it
is
actually comes off.
what is the story in this one?
I think the basic premise from what I've read is that it's like sort of a new twist. Arnie, as the T-800, was sent back in time, presumably to kill Sarah Connor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of being sent back to the time frame where Sarah Connor would have been, a young adult or whatever, he was sent back earlier to like the 1950s. So he's actually been on Earth for such a long time. That's how they're explaining his sort of biologically aged exterior. But his mission parameters or something have changed over time because Sarah Connor never existed when he was sent back. So I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna try and rewrite the history of Terminator, but it sounds like an interesting premise.
Are they trying to do a Days of Future Past? Are they just trying to delete movies that they're not happy with?
Well,
It's
they kind of tried that with Terminator Salvation, didn't they? But that was
Yeah.
just a massive nightmare.
Replace it with a worse film. It's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Hark to the Hand.
Yeah, bless him.
Oh dear.
It's just I don't know. There's a lot that's not positive about it, I guess.
It's not what I'm looking forward to anyway.
No.
As soon as I found out Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be in it, I was really hoping that they were going to go with like the future angle, and Arnie ended up being like this commander that was above John Connor or something, to have a more personal element to the film, and then they model the T-800's appearance on this human figure, you know what I mean? But they've obviously not gone that way. Hopefully it pans out, but I mean, after Salvation, I sort of lost interest in the series.
Well, the thing is, what happens is when you've got a series of films about time travel, if you're not really careful, when you start going back and forward, you end up sort of tying your shoelaces together.
Hmm.
And you're going to trip up at some point, I think, in terms of storytelling, and that sort of sounds like what they've done with this. They sort of trip themselves up, because you can't keep going back and forward through time without bumping into yourselves. And
Yeah. This is also the first in a planned trilogy I've just read. Exactly. My sentiments exactly. That was just like you say. You are just going to eventually tie yourself in knots.
I want to be wrong about it, because I've heard it's got Matt Smith in.
Do we know what he's doing in it?
I don't think we do. Or I don't think I do at the moment.
Does he? Or is this news to him as well?
Yeah, he doesn't know either.
I'm in Terminator. All right. I would like him to show up as Doctor Who. That would be great.
Yeah, well,
Then he
obviously,
probably could fix it.
It'd fit in with the with the theme.
Yes.
But he could sort the time travel out for them.
Exactly. Just a brief cameo. Just, I don't know, gives Arnie some tips on bow ties and scuttles off, and that'll be fine. maybe he's got a bigger role, and I'm really talking them down. Why have they spelled it Genisys? That's so
I don't know.
me.
I don't know.
Genisys.
I'm guessing the sys at the end is more to sort of fit in with like computer technology system, whatever. But it's just a really lame way of using the word.
Are they trying to do what everyone was trying to do in the 90s when they put Zs on the end of everything?
I think that's basically what they've done. Yeah.
Right.
Now, IMDb aren't really helping me out here, because they've got Matt Smith in the credits, but they haven't got his role.
Okay.
So you got Jason Clarke as John Connor, Schwarzenegger as Terminator, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
Oh.
It's going to be Sarah Connor.
Cool.
And Jai Courtney is playing Kyle Reese.
Huh.
Now,
Oh.
Jai Courtney is going to serve as a nice little segue for us, because the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that Suicide Squad, DC's next big team-up movie,
Yeah.
has got Jai Courtney in it. They've just released their cast list.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool as well. I mean, depending on how it all plays out. Is Suicide Squad due out after Batman v Superman?
I would imagine it's going to be after.
It's got to be.
It's got to be after. 5th of August 2016.
Yeah, that's a fair way off. Isn't
That's like immediately after.
Mm.
So Dawn of Justice, Court Case of the Century. That's out. That's out next summer, isn't it? I think.
No, Dawn of
No, isn't
Justice is out June 2016.
So this-
June 2016.
So this one's
believe
coming out
so.
straight after. So let's.
right.
This one will be out like a month
So
later.
going through the cast list, the Joker is being played by Jared Leto.
Okay. I think that's good.
I think that's good. I
Yeah.
recently watched Dallas Buyers Club with him in,
Yeah.
and he was absolutely fantastic in it.
He's a wonderful actor. I think Dallas Buyers Club was the first thing he'd done for about 14 years or something ridiculous. He'd had a world-beating rock band in that time.
Yeah.
But what did he do before that? That film about heroin addicts, which is really good.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember the name
He was
of it.
in Fight Club as well.
Yeah.
Anyone here Velcro, or is it just me?
That's me. Sorry. That's me scratching my beard. No, it's not.
God.
It's me playing with Velcro.
It's me detaching my beard from my other beard.
My fake beard from my real, non-existent beard.
Filmography. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Requiem for a Dream.
that's the one. Yeah. Deadshot is being played by Will Smith.
Okay.
Bringing some big action, big Willie Smith, Willie style.
Rick Flag's being played by Tom Hardy.
As long as none of Will Smith's kids are in this film, that's
Yeah.
fine, because then it becomes
Yeah, the less said about After Earth, the better.
yeah.
But if we don't hear a oh hell no, I'm satisfied.
Is Deadshot known for saying "Oh hell no"? I don't know a great deal about the character, but
No, I don't think generally he is known.
I thought he was the silent sniping type. Oh, so he is going to use his After Earth persona, isn't he? Like his ridiculously serious boring. Anyway.
Emotionless, yeah. So Tom Hardy's in it, playing Rick Flag.
Fine. Is he going to have lots of neck this time, or not very much neck? I don't know much about Rick Flag.
He's probably going to have a more coherent voice.
Okay.
We're probably going to be able to understand a little bit better what he's saying.
Difficult to have a less coherent voice.
Yeah.
That would take some doing.
We've got Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn.
Okay, I'm not sure who that is. I might have to click on the eye.
She was in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yes. Ah, yes.
Jai Courtney's playing Boomerang. And Cara Delevingne is playing Enchantress. Now, according to the report as well, Jesse Eisenberg is in talks to play Lex Luthor in this movie.
Yes, open brackets, rumoured, close brackets.
Yeah. Which obviously would make sense.
Yes, because he's the same in BVS DOJ.
Yeah.
That's BVS, SVB, BVS. So... Yeah,
I think it'd be a shame to not have Jesse Eisenberg showing up as Lex Luthor, or even if it is literally just a credit scene, where his involvement is, sort of officially noted, rather than it being alluded to for the entire movie, and then you never really find out. It'd be nice to see him pop up in the last 5 minutes and say, "Oh yes, my master planets come together," or something along those. Or something along those lines, I mean, when will a plan ever work with the Joker involved? It just won't.
True.
And also, Suicide Squad is like about villains becoming heroes. What is the Joker's going to add to that? Like, there's nothing about him. He's not even a coherent personality. He's just a crazy bastard. Yeah. He's got no goal in life, I don't think. He just wakes up one day and he's like, I'm going to destroy a city today.
Yeah. Big shoes to fill as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Given the last person that played the Joker. But I think Jared Leto, if you're going to have anybody, I think that's a pretty damn good choice.
Definitely.
I don't want to think of it in them terms. I mean, don't get me wrong, Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker was, fantastic. But I don't want to hold the next actor who plays the Joker back with that in mind. Like, I've sort of shelved Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, and I'm ready to see a new interpretation.
Yeah,
now. I bet it's quite a daunting task as well.
Oh, totally.
Taking that role on, because you know there's going to be somebody that's going to criticise it. There's always going to be somebody who says, "Well, it wasn't as good as."
Yes.
So I think it's a very brave thing to do to even take on the role from anyone, really.
It's just an iconic character. I think if you're taking on any long-established iconic character, whether Heath Ledger had done a good version of the Joker or not, you're always going to be judged by that, for that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get lucky. I mean, Henry Cavill got lucky in the fact that Brandon Routh played Superman before him. And he didn't really have to do much at all to be a better Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Henry Cavill's got a lot to do in the next film, though, because he didn't really convey much of Superman's personality. He was. Has he got
a personality?
Well, this
like, I'm odd. You're not. I'm good. You're not.
With it being an origin story, it's all that was like Kal-El's struggle. And now he's got to be the big blue scout, whatever his fucking name is, Yank.
the big what?
The big blue boy scout. That's what he's known as.
Yeah.
So.
But I know what you mean about like kind of actors coming into playing characters sort of in the shadow of previous ones. But I guess Heath Ledger pulled out an iconic performance with Jack Nicholson playing the character before him.
Exactly. Yeah. So, there's a bit of a legacy that goes with the Joker, isn't there?
Yeah, it's kind of an awesome. He's kind of like the Macbeth of the of the DC universe in terms of status.
Yeah, and nobody's allowed to say the Joker on set.
Exactly. You're not on a film saying you're not allowed to say the Joker.
Jack Nicholson's Joker was really good though, like in the original Batman.
It was fantastic. It was just
so
the right
good.
it was the right taste for the time, and it really worked in those movies.
It was sinister as fuck as well. If you like watch it back now, like he's a horrible bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't hold back at all.
But I mean, again, I thought Danny DeVito's Penguin
Yeah.
was
Penguin, it was actually really scary.
it was horrible.
Fucking terrifying thing.
Yeah, that was back when Tim Burton was a good original director.
Exactly.
Before the accident.
The accident. What was the accident?
I don't know. There must have been an accident because all his films went shit.
He was originally in line to direct Batman Forever. But I mean, I presume before it was called that. But I think the studio were like, no, we don't want it to be as dark.
Yeah, just please, I want something.
Yeah, well, at least it wasn't Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Never mind.
Oh,
The Bat card? I never leave the cave without it.
fucking hell! I don't even want to talk about that film ever again.
Oh.
Like every time we talk about Batman, that comes up.
Of course it
Call
does.
party.
And yeah, well, that brings us right back to Arnie. Really, like, what a legacy.
What a legacy.
Yeah, I just hope, again, like with Jurassic World looking quite fun, with Star Wars looking quite fun, I kind of really hope that if they are going to do another throwback to Terminator, they get the tone right as well.
Mm.
In some ways, I mean, it was sinister and whatever, but with still had a sense of humor about it.
Mm.
Still
But I mean,
wasn't
it was
scary.
it was a bit scary as well. 'Cause, I mean, the time it came out, obviously technology was the sort of fear factor for everyone, wasn't it? It was like, and to bring out a movie about Skynet and machines taking over, I think that was very much the sort of fear of the time.
Yes.
That's why the Daleks were such a fearsome enemy, and the Cybermen in Doctor Who back in those days, because a lot of people feared technology.
I think what made Terminator especially scary, and especially the original, was that he was a human. You know what I mean? You couldn't determine him from anybody else.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that he was a giant robotic asshole. Like,
Yes.
and he
Exactly.
happened to be an unstoppable killing machine. There's the human elements
Yeah.
mixed together with the machine was probably what made it even more scary.
Mm.
Yeah, in the downtime between, I'm thinking of Terminator 2 particularly, in the downtime between the ridiculously scary chases and whatever, there was, some humour about him attempting to adapt and learn to be human. It was great, like the whole thing about him learning to smile and stuff like that. And I think that was really missing from Salvation.
Yeah.
In many ways, like that was just miserable, and it kind of went a bit too far in Terminator 3. It just became a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a quasi-comedy film, Terminator 3.
Terminator 3 was funny for all the wrong reasons, in the same way that Robin was funny for all the wrong reasons. Gotta have a balance, I think.
Yeah. And on balance, I think that's about all we've got time for this week. As ever, thanks for listening. I've been Chris.
I've been Jake.
I've been Ben.
Catch you next time.
Maybe.